Tonight on Connections Live, we'll visit an authentic pub celebrating its 20th anniversary. We'll look at an organization that brings the arts to small-town communities. We'll sit down with an antique clock repairman, and we'll learn about an organization dedicated to informing citizens of the history of the town of Muncie. Connections Live starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Connections Live, where we showcase ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I'm Jenna Liston.
And I'm Brittany Ehrman. Welcome to our first show of 2015 and a brand new year of Connections Live. We have 4 great stories for you this evening about noteworthy organizations, an authentic pub, and a shop with antique charm.
Let's jump right in with our first story. The Heorot Pub in Muncie is celebrating its 20th year of business in 2015. The pub gets its name from the famous Mead Hall in the tale of Beowulf and is an integral part of downtown Muncie.
Let's hear more about the Heorot Pub.
My name's Stan Stevens. I own the Heorot Pub in Muncie, Indiana. We opened in January 5th of 1995. The Book of Beowulf, first Anglo-Saxon novel, 8th or 9th century. In the Book of Beowulf, they talk about the high-ceilinged mead hall named Heorot. So the name of the Heorot came from that. The Viking longhouse on the 2nd floor, the decorations, the round shields, the weapons are all designed to be after that time period. The dragon was made by a gentleman, Gary Clowers. He was contracted to make it, and if you've read all of Beowulf, at the end, Beowulf meets his demise when he fights a dragon, so that's thus the dragon. The shields, most of those were people that I fought against in the SEA. I really wanted the Heorot to be one of those friendly places where anybody could come in, anybody could have a good beer. We've always tried to keep our beer prices so that working men can come in. There was a tendency for a while for beer to get very snobbish when craft really started taking off the first time in the 90s. And it's went away from that now. But the atmosphere of the Heorot, I can't take all the credit. It's just the people that come in. We get professors, we get retired professors, we get people from Ball State, we get students, we get people from Muncie, people that just want to come in, have a conversation, have a good beer. They don't get beat to death by NASCAR signs. There's not a giant TV blaring in the corner. I think that's it. You can do what you want to try to create an atmosphere and a mood, but it's the people that come in and have a lot to do with it. We just have a very good bunch of customers, just nice people that come in. During the ice storm several years ago, we let people sleep up here if their electricity was out. When 9/11 happened, people came in and talked. So we've used the building and the facility as much as we can to help. We do annual canned food drives for food banks, just part of what you do when you own a business. We do, the Longhouse has been used for several weddings, graduations. We even had a wake up here one time. The small room in the back, we have plays. People that want to do low budget, small cast plays, they're welcome to come here and do stuff. The room is available most of the time in the week so they can practice, and then we can work it around out on the weekends so they can be up here. The Heorot really doesn't have any cliques. Anybody that comes in, unless they're causing trouble, is welcome here. It doesn't matter. Politics doesn't matter, church doesn't matter, color doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. If you want to have a good beer at a reasonable price and sit down, the Heorot's, it's a good place to show up at. There's just no clique, there's no defining moment or group where somebody determines everything that's going to happen in the evening. Sometimes it's business people, sometimes it's retired people. We have a lot of people from Meals on Wheels. They come in after their shifts, they'll stop by and get a beverage and stuff before they go home. Tom Tomlinson's a favorite of mine. Tim Kelly, both of those guys participate in that. I don't know. I can't tell you why everybody comes in. I'm just glad they do.
Oh, I'm just curious, how many people have their name on the bar next door? Raise your hand. Wow, look at that.
The Heorot has been a really special place in my life. You know, it's just part of the tapestry of my life.
The Heorot is a place, but it is the representation of a bunch of people. So Stan's vision and creativity, is literally hanging on the walls.
I would like to congratulate you on your first 20 years and raise my glass to the next 20. So congratulations.
That place looks awesome. What an exciting time to visit the Heorot.
Absolutely. It looks like a great place to spend time with friends or meet other people in the Muncie community. To learn more about the Heorot, visit www.theherotpub.com.
We have more great stories for you coming up next. Don't go away. Connections Live will be right back.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules. You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet. Shoebox. Under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
Welcome back to Connections Live. For our next story, we'll get the chance to learn about a nonprofit organization that aims to bring the arts to their small town communities.
The Arts Place located in Portland, Indiana offers art classes, performances, and hosts a rotating art exhibit for people in the community.
Let's hear more about the Arts Place.
Arts Place is an arts nonprofit located in Portland, Indiana. It is our mission to nurture the creative spirit in anyone. Our largest program here in Portland is our Music Works program, which is a music tutoring program where we have everything from the harp to guitar and violin. And then we have Artworks, where we teach the oil painting and ceramics classes. And we also have performances that use our theater. We have a 200-seat theater that we have here. And then the gallery as well. We have a show up every month. We try to offer a place for local artists and just for the local community to try the arts, see what the arts is about, get some exposure to some culture. We have classes for a range of skill levels, from beginner to advanced, and usually they're all in one class, which our teachers kind of navigate, but we've got something for everybody in every skill level.
The clay class this time is 4 students, and 2 of them have taken clay from our previous instructor, who was Mary Betker, who was wonderful, and 2 are new. So we've got kind of a blend. I've been involved almost since the beginning, which has been almost 40 years. We were the Arts Council first, and in year 2000, there was a fund drive that allowed us to build this facility. The people that come here have come here now for generation, you know, who came as children, learned to play the violin, or, you know, took clay classes or did performance, because we do performances too. And now they're adults bringing their children, and it just grows from there. And I think it's just rewarding, because once people come through the door, they're more apt to come through again, because it's just a good feeling. One of the first students, this is her first opportunity to work with clay. She did this last night, and to help her out, because she's not able to handle the clay as easily as some people that are experienced, I had her take this bowl with this protective coating, otherwise it'd stick to the bowl. And she just put shapes in there. And then once the shapes were in there all around the edge, she took moist clay and rubbed it in until it was nice and smooth in there. And then did some designing, because she couldn't reach this part, obviously, because it was in here. And today I came in, it's now leather hard, and I pulled it out and was able to get her name in the bottom. And when she comes in next week, it should be pretty dry. So this is an easy way to a first-time person to make them feel successful and have some nice decorative work, and they start to understand just how versatile the clay is and what it can do.
You know, what drew me to working here is that it's such a unique, it's just a unique nonprofit. It's virtually in the middle of nowhere, at least the middle of nowhere for someone who grew up in a rather large city, and it does so much. Like our programs expand into a 60-mile radius. We have other branches in Hartford City and St. Mary's, Ohio. Like we do a lot for the communities all over Indiana and Ohio, where we bring art experiences to people that maybe wouldn't have the chance to because of where they live. I think the great thing about working in this building and being around the arts programs is that I'm constantly surrounded by people who are passionate about the arts, whether that be music, dance, fiber arts, painting, ceramics. There's always people who are doing some really cool stuff. I think we're somewhat a hidden gem. I think that's definitely something that I wasn't expecting when I came out here, and definitely something that drew me to working at Arts Place, is that it's doing so much for such a great area, and you don't know it's here.
I definitely need to go check that place out. It seems like such a hidden gem.
It does, and they have a different art installation every 4 weeks. Community members have access to so many opportunities through the Arts Place.
To learn more about the Arts Place, visit www.artsland.org.
For our next story this evening, we were able to sit down with the owner of the Alexandria Clock Company.
The shop was originally established as a corporation that manufactured clocks, and later on became what it is today, an antique clock shop that specializes in repair and sales.
Let's learn a little bit more about this interesting craft.
Well, the name of the clock shop is Alexandria Clock Company, and we started in '74 building clocks. My father-in-law built 6 clocks for the 6 kids. People seen those and wanted him to build one, and it just kind of turned into a hobby. That's about how we got started back in '74. Okay, so we started out with the building of the clocks originally, and went up until '86 building clocks. In '91 had a going out of business sale, and I ended up buying all the repair equipment and just stayed repairing for a few years. Anything wind up is what we like to work on. We don't work on electric or battery, 31 days or anniversary clocks even. A lot of them you can't get parts for anymore. We work on the wind-ups because we can make parts and repair and anything that needs to be done to it. In '78 we had 11 clocks in the kitchen for a showroom, and we sold all of those clocks before the holidays. And so we turned the attached garage to the house into a showroom in 79 and built and sold 38 clocks out of it. And then in 1980, I built the front part of the shop here, and we moved all our power tools out here in the shop and just took off from there, and ended up building 236 of them. But we do complete disassemblies of clocks too. We take everything apart, clean them in ultrasonic tanks, polish the gears, find center in the worn bushing, drill it out, press in a new friction fit bronze bushing, check it for fit, and then just do all the wear that repair all the wear that's in there and go from there. Stick them back together and test them for about 3 weeks, make sure everything's working okay. But we can do anything that needs to be done to a 8-day wind up European or American made clock. The construction, some of them are different. By the gearing, could be different. They all basically do about the same thing. Of course they keep time and all that, but they all have to have levers and warning pins and to stop things, to warn them, to get them ready to move and chime. Some of them's pretty tedious, some of them's pretty difficult to work on. You get into the tubular bell clocks, just got a lot more pieces to them. A time-only clock may only have about 38 to 42 pieces that we take out and clean and polish. A 5 or 9 tube clock may have over 200 pieces to it before we get done. There's just a lot of pieces to them. This is all I've done for 35 years, and I just never imagined that there would be that many clocks to fix. And today we're just as busy as we was years ago.
I can't believe clock repair is so intricate. If my family's grandfather clock ever needs a tune-up, I know exactly where to go.
To learn more about the shop's repair services, you can give them a call at 765-724-3989 or visit them in Alexandria.
We still have one more great story for you tonight. Connections Live will be right back.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww, and walk like a monkey, hop like a bunny. Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants. They've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants. Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants. They've got ants in their pants. They've got ants in their pants.
One more time.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants. They've got ants in their pants, they got...
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay, but remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Dad's home!
Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to Connections Live. For our final story this evening, we got a chance to learn about the Delaware County Historical Society.
This organization seeks to enrich the lives of the people in Delaware County through the preservation and interpretation of their heritage.
The Society maintains the More Used Museum downtown and has several subcommittees, including the Pioneer Cemetery Restoration Committee and the Midwest Restoration Fest Committee.
We were able to sit down with a few members of the board. Let's hear about the Delaware County Historical Society.
Well, the mission of the Delaware County Historical Society is to enrich the lives of its residents through the interpretation and preservation of its heritage. So that involves having a resource library that's accessible to the public for people who are interested in coming in and doing research about Delaware County's history or their own genealogy. And also we have the Moriyaus Home Museum that was donated to the organization in 1982, which tells the story of 3 generations of women that lived in the building from 1867 until 1982. The history of the organization is a long one. It was established in 1925, and there's been many things that it's done throughout the years. It was at one time the Delaware County Historical Alliance and partnered with a lot of other organizations. But for the last several decades, the main mission has just been to maintain and open the Moriyaus Home Museum and then to provide resources to the community through the resource library.
We've struggled over the past several years for all kinds of reasons. And I like being involved because it's to start the things fresh and to develop it from the ground up as best we can. There seems to be now renewed interest, stronger ties between the university, Ball State University, and then the city itself, along with the residents. So we're trying very hard to build all those bridges. This year is Muncie's sesquicentennial, 150-year anniversary. Next year is Indiana's 200-year anniversary, the bicentennial. So there's lots of really great opportunities to tell, either retell stories that have already been told or tell new stories that maybe our research has uncovered in the previous couple of years.
Well, I think that Muncie has a fascinating history. Delaware County, there's a lot of interesting things that have gone on here for the last 200 years, and many people are not familiar with the Native Americans that were here, what happened here during the Industrial Revolution when the town really grew. So there's a lot of old stories to tell. But Muncie's gone through a period of decline for the last 3 decades, and there are a lot of people that are still suffering from the ramifications of the loss of manufacturing, the loss of industry. So a lot of people don't have a very positive view of Muncie right now. But I think that understanding the history, where Muncie came from, how this town developed, really helps sort of shape and define where we can go in the future. And I think that there is a shift right now, a cultural shift that's going on within Delaware County. And if you know about your past and know where you came from, then that helps to shape the stories of the future.
I have a personal interest in history. I like knowing when I walk out a door or I go to a building or something and knowing that it's not 20 years old, it's 150 years old, and learning about all the other people that have come and gone to make the place what it is. I also think it's a pretty important part of community development, that if you can have a very strong identity for your community, it is something, it's sort of a locus of control or a locus of development where people sort of gravitate around when things go bad or when you want to try to grow a community or a neighborhood because there's a very long past. And there's an identity that changes to a sense of stewardship because you are a current member of a very long line of people living and working within your community.
2015 is the sesquicentennial for Muncie, so there's going to be a series of programs that will happen throughout the year just to talk about the history of Muncie and try to engage new audiences and build upon the membership that exists within the Historical Society so that we can continue to function and grow and add programs down the road.
On Saturday, January 24th at the Fickle Peach here in Muncie, we're doing a beer tasting event. And we're going to $14. Tickets are available here at the Resource Center or at the Fickle Peach. We're going to have beer tasting, so the staff at the Fickle Peach will provide all the participants with beer. We're going to do a very brief history on Muncie's brewing history, which is very brief. There were as many as 3 breweries at one time. None lasted more than 2 or 3 years. And then segue into a larger history with a screening of a documentary called Indiana in a Pint about the history of brewing in the state of Indiana. And then just talk a little bit about what the Historical Society does and hopefully get some some interest in people to become members. Muncie and Delaware County have a very interesting history that I think sometimes doesn't get told very much. And the next 2 years, we have a lot of really great things coming up, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it.
Wow, I had no idea this kind of organization existed right here in Delaware County.
I know, and the event they have coming up, the Fickle Peach, sounds like a blast.
To learn more about the Delaware County Historical Society, check out www.delawarecountyhistory.org.
That's all we have for you tonight on Connections Live, where we showcase ordinary people
who share those extraordinary stories. Have a great night.